Hey VC, John here. Start of the holidays. Finished work yesterday for 10 days, which is just great. And hopefully we'll be able to get right up to date with VC videos and getting to show a few more things that I've got lined up, like 44 cassettes I picked up last week from Harry. But this video is going to be about thanks to two people in particular, but it's also my sort of general reflection on what I think about the VC and the fact that there's a spirit of generosity that I just like to be part of. And I know that we've got Christmas coming up in 4 or 5 days time on Tuesday, and we'll be giving a lot of gifts and hopefully receiving a lot of gifts. But there's something about giving a gift to somebody that's a gift that you'd like to have yourself, which is just better, which is why I don't mind sending records to people. Anyway, if I can take you back in time to the end of October when it was Halloween, and I tend not to respond to threads or competitions. I'm not against them. It's just that I'm just not interested usually in pursuing them. I'm interested in watching what people do, but it's just not my thing, and that's just fine really. But Mark Mybertube did, and Skeeter, have to mention Skeeter, did a Groovy Ghoulies Halloween video, which I thought was hilarious, and so I did respond to him, mainly just to support the fact that it had been made in the first place. And the prizes were fantastic, and mine wasn't a brilliant video. It was just a few records which conformed to the rules of the competition, if you like. Anyway, LJ won that competition, deservedly so, I have to say. Actually went to some effort to do an excellent response. And the two other people were second and runners up, and I really liked it how Mark said, I'm not drawing it out of a hat, it's my competition and I'm choosing who wins, which I thought was great. Anyway, once he did the competition results, he said that he was sending out records and VCLT to everybody who'd taken part, which I thought was massively generous. And when I saw what he sent to LJ, I thought was outstanding. Anyway, he did message me and say that something was on its way, and when I came back from work, I've said before, I work away in the week at the moment, so I came back on Friday and there was a package waiting, and I did intend to do a video last weekend but just didn't get round to it. But the thing is about Mark, joking aside, he clearly does observe what people are interested in, and when he first started making videos he did a sequence of jokes, or spoof records I think, and I commented on one of them, and clearly Mark remembered that I was coveting this record. So when I opened the package, in there was a little fridge magnet which is in our kitchen now, stuck on the fridge. The record that I'd referred to months before, Mark had remembered that I wanted it, and it's impossible to get in the UK. Anyway, it's this, and it's Born to Add, Sesame Street. Now you do know that I'm a massive Springsteen fan, and I just love the artwork of this. I think that's Ernie, but it could be Bert, I can't remember, and Cookie Monster on the front. And then all the songs, they're things like Born to Add. You can see where that came from, and it's not to the tune of Born to Run, but it's something that approximates the Springsteen sound. And then all the songs are all approximations of all the songs which are well known. So you've got Letter B, you can work that one out for yourself, and the other one which is Hey Food, and it's, joking aside, it's actually quite a good record, but it's just a massive thanks to Mark, because he remembered, and that's the fact that somebody is interested in what you say. And I noticed, I've seen a few of the videos that people have done thanking Mark for what he sent, and the same theme runs throughout. And in fact, something he sent a Grail Rush album to LJ, and I can't remember the other guys that are in there, but I think one was Vance. But thanks Mark, I really do appreciate that. But it wasn't the only thing in there. He also sent me this, and he just put a very brief note, said something like, "Hey John, a few records for the collection," and it's a Bruce bootleg, the Jersey Devil, and well, I was just taken. It took my breath away that was in there. Really, the fact that you sent it, Mark, and I don't tend to do package openings when things come. For a variety of reasons. One, I don't really like surprise that much, and I've got one of these faces that gives things away. So if I was like disappointed, you'd be able to tell, and I didn't want that to come across. But I've listened to this. It's quite an old bootleg, and it's got things like well, it's hard. It says Saint in the City in here, but it's hard to be a saint in the city. East Street Rap, the East Street Shuffle, New York City Serenade, Lost in the Flood. And I'm guessing it was recorded in the. It was recorded at a live concert in the mid-70s, and I think Mark probably replaced the inner sleeves, because these are really sort of top drawer sleeves. So thanks, Mark. I really appreciate it. It's just generosity that it almost leaves me speechless, as you can tell. However, came back from work last night, and there's a second package waiting for me, and I could tell who this time it was from. Look at my address on the front, but it says from. So I saw it was from Bret there, and as you can see, it's an odd little box. So it clearly wasn't a record, and I thought, well, what can be in there? So I opened it up, and 2 8-tracks. One Glenn Campbell and the other one, and there's a Christmas card in there, and Bret saying in there that he was in a record shop, and he knows that I like Christmas music, and he also knows that I acquired an 8-track player earlier in the year, about 6 months ago, and he said he was really excited to spot this Christmas music, and on the face of it, it's just an 8-track with a variety of artists like Al Martino, Nat King Cole, Bing Crosby, etc. But what was the weirdest thing about this? In the UK, as viewers of this channel will know, in the UK, we have national radio. It doesn't exist in the US, and probably not in the wider world, but we have Radio 1, Radio 2, Radio 3, Radio 4, and they're all BBC channels. And on Radio 2, there's a disc jockey called Chris Evans, and he's on. And this week and last week, he's been doing this thing where schools send in, teachers send in their kids playing various Christmas carols and Christmas songs, and it's been fantastic. It's great. It's really, if you don't like listening to young children singing Christmas songs, then, well, you've got no soul, in my opinion. But there was one in there, and it was a song, and I can't remember what it's called, but you'll know it's in various films, and it goes da 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 da, and I thought, I haven't got that in any of all the Christmas records I haven't got it. Anyway, get home, get out these 2 8-tracks that Bret sent me, and on this, it's on there. So thanks, Bret. Unbelievable. I was just thinking when I was driving to work, oh, I must get something like that because I really like that song, and it's on here. So, Bret, I don't know how you knew, but thanks, mate. I really appreciate it. But that wasn't the only thing that was in there. There was also there was a couple of cards. Susie and the Banshees, New Model Army, and one's an advert when Bret's band Order were supporting New Model Army. So I've got lots of these different types of cards now that people sent me, so I must try and come up with something. But the other thing that Bret sent was, and he said he normally tries to pull together a mix list of things that he's liked through the year. And Bret and I have a very similar taste in many respects, so clearly I was going to like what was on here. But the other odd thing was, the first track he put on there was The Only Place by Best Coast. Well, I got into Best Coast not through Bret, but through Conrad, who sadly has decided not to make any more music videos. I'm sure he'll be back, but for the time being. And I heard it, and I went and bought the Only Place, which is a current album, and the last album on Conrad's recommendation, but Bret's put it on as one of his favourites of the year, which again I thought amazing, because it's one of our favourites of the year. And the other track on there, which I noted immediately, was Genesis by Grimes. Well, Grimes again is an artist, Canadian woman, young woman who we saw on Later with Jules Holland earlier in the year. Went out and bought the album, and then I didn't even know Bret liked Grimes at all, so it was amazing that he's picked her up on there. But the track listing is excellent. It's got Best Coast, Metric, Bruce Springsteen, Wrecking Ball, The Big Pink, Lana Del Rey, Grimes, Dead Can Dance, Ravionettes, Sinead O'Connor, Soul Savers, Sun Kill Moon, somebody called Bret Helm, whoever that is, Light Asylum, Bill Fay, Joey Ramone. That's excellent. I've not heard that from his solo album. Darley's Car, and another track by Bill Fay. So again, thanks for that, Bret. We listened to that last night after listening to both of the 8 tracks while we were having a few glasses of wine, and it's a good listen. And then the final thing is, Bret did tell me that he's looking out for a few Bruce singles, and he sent me this jukebox version of Dancing in the Dark, which I do have the UK version, obviously. You would probably expect that, I would have, and I think Bret expected that. But it's always great to have a different version, alternate version, so perhaps we'll do a list of the... I keep saying to Bret I'll do a list of the Bruce singles I've got, but thanks for that, Bret. I really appreciate it. So that's the first of hopefully a few videos I'll make over the next few days. Hope you're having a great start to your Christmas, everybody, and thanks again, Bret and Mark. You really, you can't appreciate how much I enjoy opening these. I did read something about in the paper about adults like getting surprised in the post just as much as kids, and as far as I'm concerned, that is true. So thanks, guys, and I hope everybody else is having a great start to the holidays. Take care, VC.